Tadasana, so let's get our toes spread apart, feet solidly on the mat. We're going to align ourselves so that we can get internalized. And then just adjust in the abdomen, and then we'll bring our arms up, and then very slowly lower your arms. When they reach your hips, bring your fingertips in, and then adjust your chin so your body's in a nice straight line. And now we'll begin our Ujjayi breathing. So when we inhale, we tense the muscles of the anus and the glottis, the back of the throat, when we inhale. When we exhale, everything's relaxed. So it's like breathing through the throat. We inhale, tense the muscles around the anus, the glottis, and we exhale, relax. Keep the Ujjayi breathing going throughout the routine. If you lose it, just pick it up and start again. So let's move to the front of our mat. And we'll begin with salutation to the sun. So arching back, keeping the Ujjayi breathing going. Coming forward, fingers and toes line up. Stepping back with the left leg, right leg back. Coming down on the knees, chest, chin, or forehead, up into a cobra. Then curling our toes under, coming up into the mountain. Stepping forward with the left leg. Right leg forward. And then we'll come all the way up and arch back. That was a half round. And then coming forward, again, fingers and toes line up. Stepping back with your right leg, left leg back. We're in a slant board. Down on the knees, chest, chin, or forehead. We're going to hold the cobra for a couple breaths. And then curling your toes under, coming up into the mountain. Stepping forward with the right leg. And left leg forward. Let's come all the way up, and as we arch back, we'll spread our arms apart for salutation to the moon. And then bending forward, again. Fingers and toes line up. This time we come to a squat position. And coming back onto the left knee, arch back. Stretch forward, right leg back, onto two knees and arch back. And then bringing your arms down, spreading your knees apart, slide up into a cobra. Again, we'll hold the cobra for a couple breaths. And coming back down and all the way up onto two knees again, arch back. Stepping forward with the left leg this time, so you're on your right knee, stretching first, and coming back onto the right knee. And then bringing your palms back to the mat, coming back to a squat position. Hips come up first. And then we come all the way back up and arch back. And then roll your arms. And we'll step back for the warrior. So stepping back with the left leg, bringing both arms up. Warrior two position. And now we'll bring our arms down for the warrior. We're looking over the left shoulder. right arm down your leg, left arm over your head for the arching back warrior. We'll move to our triangle variation. So left hand down to the floor, right arm is extended. We're in a nice straight line. And then we'll come back up, clasping our hands behind our back. We're going to do the unicorn, so arch back first, and then bending forward, and let your shoulders drop forward. And then lower your arms, bring them down your legs, grasping your big toes, and then look up to extend the stretch. The Ujjayi breathing that you're doing throughout the routine helps to keep you centered, internalized, and it also calms the mind and tones the nervous system. And then we'll release the toes, come back up, and we'll do our revolved triangle. So left hand outside the right foot. And then we'll release, come back up and arch back. And then bring your feet together, lower your arms. And we're ready to move to the other side. So stepping back this time with the right leg. Both arms are up. Now moving into the warrior and looking over your right shoulder. And then lower the left arm down your leg and right arm over your head. We'll move to our triangle variation. arms behind our back, and we'll arch back for the unicorn. And then directly in between both legs, allowing the shoulders to drop forward. And then lower your arms, bring them down your legs, grasping the big toes and looking up. And then we're going to release, come back up, come all the way up and arch back. And then we'll move into our revolved triangle. So right hand outside the left foot. Twist, going all the way up, arch back, and then bring our feet together. And then we move into the eagle. So balancing your weight on the left leg, make sure you're looking at a straight line when you do it. The right foot wraps around the left calf. Left arm comes up, and the right arm wraps around underneath it. For a variation, you can bend forward if you can balance when you do it. And then come back up. Release the feet first, and then your hands. Okay, opposite side, balancing on the right leg this time. Left foot comes around the right calf, right arm up, and left arm underneath. You can bend forward if you'd like. It's a very advanced position, and you want to get yourself nice and steady. And let's come out of the eagle. And we'll move to a jackknife. Bringing your arms up, stretching up on your toes, come down on your heels, and bend from the hips. And you can grasp your ankles and draw your head in a little closer. And then release. And we're going to step 10 dolphins. So bringing your chin in front of your hands and then behind your hands. It's a strength position, so you may need to work up to 10. And then coming down on your knees, coming into the child's pose. And then bring your arms out in front of you. We'll do our cobra variation. So bring your chin to the mat and hips up, arms extended. This is great for the shoulders. Now we're going to move into the plank on the forearms. And now we'll move to straight arms, so one arm at a time. Then down on the forearms again. And back to straight arms. And then we'll walk our hands and feet together for the mountain. And then walking your feet forward. We'll come up and we're going to move into the backward bend. So we'll arch back and step back on the left leg. And then lower your arms, step forward, and we'll move to the other side. So stepping back on the right leg and arch back. And then you can lower your arms, bring your foot forward. We're going to add a chair in tonight. So bringing your arms up, all the way up, coming up on your toes. And then coming down into a squat. Come part way down first. And then squat with hands on your hips. Lower your arms. And then we'll lie down and rest in Savasana. Often the favorite part of class. Get ready to move into the boat. So bringing your arms alongside your legs, hands are alongside the knees. We're going to hold the boat for 10 breaths, if comfortable. If not, just go back to Savasana. Whenever you're ready, go back to Savasana. And we're going to move into the simple inverted next. So rolling up into it, hips resting in your hands. And for the advanced position, left hand on the sacrum, right hand over the left. We'll move into the shoulder stand. And then lower your legs to the parallel plow. You can support your hips in your hands if you'd like. And we're going to do our variation, twisting the legs to the left side of the head. And then to the right. And then back to center. And then we'll move into the plow. The toes touch down and circle your head with your hands. dropping your knees to either side of your head for the ear closer. Arms down in front of you. And then back to the plow and into the advanced shoulder stand. You can clasp your hands together, coming straight up into the shoulder stand. And if that's not comfortable, just do the regular shoulder stand where you support your back with your hands. Okay, we'll split into the bridge now. And we'll do a variation, lifting your left leg, knees and thighs are parallel. And then lower the left leg, lift the right. And then lower the right leg, coming back down into the fish. So your hands are under your hips, palms down, weights on the elbows, the top of your head rests lightly on the mat. This is an intermediate class, so we do our fish variation, raising your legs, and then you can move your hands outside your hips, palms together above your chest. And then coming back down to Savasana. And then we'll roll back into the plow for our sleeping angle pose, spreading your legs apart, holding your feet in your hands. And then we'll roll up into a balanced V. Beautiful pose, but tricky to do. We're going to bring our legs together and we'll slide into a posterior stretch. So come straight into it, 2 fingers around the big toe, thumb across the top, head towards both knees. And then sliding up out of the pose. And we'll do our posterior stretch variation. So moving your right leg across the left, coming down on your forearms, chin or forehead on the knee. change to the opposite side. Releasing the pose, coming up. And we're going to move into a squat position for our squatting balance pose. One of the trickier poses. Balancing on the left leg, and when you're ready, straightening out the right leg, holding onto it with one hand first, and then both hands. Side, making sure you're balanced and your foot is flat on the floor. And then you can lower this leg. And we'll move into our second squatting balance pose. So we're going to sit on our left foot, raise the right leg, and hold on to it. Looks easier than it is. Take some balance. We'll lower that leg and we'll move to the opposite side. It helps to look at a focal point. Time to move into our head to the knee variation. So left leg in, right leg is out. The left foot can come up on your thigh, and your arm comes around behind your back to rest the foot. If you can't get your foot up there, just bring it inside the thigh. And the hand comes down to grasp the toe, head towards the knee. Toe, coming back up. thigh, I'm going to change it up a little bit. We're going to do just into the thigh. We're going to do Maha Mudra, so bringing the left arm behind your back, making a fin behind the heart. Lock your chin, reach down and grasp your toe. It's an energy pose. It allows energy to move to the upper centers, giving us more vitality. And then you can release. And we'll move to the other side. Starting with the head to the knee, so your foot comes up on the thigh if it's comfortable, arm around behind your back, grasping your toe, and the left arm reaches down to grasp your left toe, head towards the knee. And then releasing, come up, and then bring your foot into the thigh for Maha Mudra. Bringing your right arm behind your back, making the fin, lock the chin, and grasp your toe. And then you can release, come back up, straighten out both legs, bring your arms behind your back. We're going to move into the inclined plane. And then we'll swivel to the left side, raising the right arm. And then you can bend your knee, bringing your foot to the opposite knee. And then if comfortable, grasping your foot and raise your leg. And then you can lower your leg. We'll come to the other side. And then lower your leg. We'll come back to center. And then coming back down on your hips, walk your hands up. And we'll move to a cross-legged position, a half lotus with one foot on one thigh, or a full lotus with one foot on each thigh. We're going to do Mahaveda Mudra, so it's palms on the mat next to your hips or fists. And then lock your chin and lift off. And when you need to exhale, drop down. And then we'll do 9 more of those, if comfortable. If that's too many, just stop. And then we'll roll into our shoulder stand variation. So holding the half lotus, full lotus, or cross-legged, we're going to roll back into the shoulder stand in this position. Keep your thighs parallel to the floor and put your hands on your knees. Take some balance, but it is worthwhile. And then you can roll out, coming up into the hugging lotus position. So you're hugging your knees. And then you can roll your knees to the floor. Bring your hands behind your back. We're going to do Yoga Mudra. So bring the forehead to the mat. Your hands are in pranam behind your back, palms together. And then coming back up, releasing the Ujjayi breathing, and we're going to do our 3 bandhas. So we inhale, tensing the muscles around the anus for Mula Bandha, do the chin lock, and then pull in at the abdominal area. And releasing when you need to exhale. And now you can, on your last one, release the bandhas. you can lie down in Savasana and prepare for deep relaxation.